Hello tanks and tankettes, and welcome to a bit of World of Tanks console action. And I know we had one of these comparatively recently. We had a Conqueror game from Jack the Ripper. Well, I had the offer of some more console replay, probably because I did that previous video. And this is from Sins, who has his own console YouTube channel. And he's driving the Chieftain, which appeared in the console version of World of Tanks back in September, I believe it was. So there are a couple of things to note about the Chieftain. First is that on the console it isn't a replacement for the 215B, it sits as an additional tier 10 heavy tank branching off from the Conqueror. On the PC version, originally the Chieftain Mk.6 was slated to completely replace the 215B. Then they announced that that was going to get cancelled in favour of an up-armoured Conqueror, and then we haven't basically heard anything about it since I think late last year, and we still have the 215B as the tier 10 heavy tank. So goodness knows what is going to happen with the PC version, if we're going to keep the 215B and get the Chieftain as another tier 10 as they do on the console, or if the Super Conqueror will ever appear. I don't know. It's complete speculation at this point. There was a lot of stuff that came out last year and people were getting excited because the Chieftain's a very iconic machine. And then just everything went quiet. It has at least appeared in some form, however, in World of Tanks, and we're going to get to see it in action. Now, there's nothing on the wiki. I can't look up the stats, although the Chieftain Mk.6 stats for the PC are still available on tanks.gg. And if it's the same as that, or if it's similar, well, it's basically the familiar 120mm British gun. It's got pretty good frontal armour. It's got the DPM of around 3,000, or at least that was what it was planned to have for the PC version. I don't know if it's the same on this, but basically it's the hallmarks of the British heavy tanks in terms of its gun stats, and the armour is pretty decent. Apparently, I've just noticed this on the streamers on the screen as well. When it says detected and when the sixth sense goes off, apparently these are different mechanics on the console version. I got confused about this in the Jack the Ripper video, saying that, oh yeah, on console everybody gets Sixth Sense for free. That's not entirely true. There are two separate things going on. Unfortunately, attempting to find out what the separate things are, well, just looking up the wiki tells me nothing. There's no page for mechanics beyond the matchmaking on the wiki. There's probably a forum post somewhere that explains it, but today's been a bit busy, so I haven't had time to go and properly research that. So I know I got it wrong, but I'm still not entirely clear what the mechanic is. So he's landed some hits already, although he's not done that much damage so far. But as you can see, this gun, I mean, it aims quickly and it hits hard and it reloads pretty fast. So, same as the 215B, the gun is... it looks pretty nice. It looks like a really lovely heavy tank gun to use, and that's the getting through the mid tiers and some of the higher tiers of the British heavies can be a bit of a slog. But when you get to that top end and when you get this 120mm gun to play with, oh, it is so good. It just handles so well. So there we go. It gets the kill on that 110E5. He took a bit of a duffer shot earlier into the beak, but I guess it was a bit of a snapshot. He's continuing to rack up the damage though. It would be nice, and maybe they'll have it on the console version at some point, if you had the damage count on screen, but that is a very recent addition to the PC version, just into the default client, so maybe it'll come in at some point, but who knows. So he's just continuing to work this position. There's no enemy artillery to worry about. Airfield, you'll notice, by the way, I mean, I think it largely is the same map. There might be some differences in the terrain, but the biggest differences are cosmetic, and the fact that it's... I can't tell if it's supposed to be at dusk or if it's supposed to be dawn. I think it's more... This looks like dusk to me, so it's more kind of in the lighting and the fact there's smoke and searchlights and all that kind of thing going on in the background. It was rather pretty anyway. But, yeah, the reason I launched into that was because the bushes on this side are famous for being a bit of a lie on the PC version, and I don't know if that's the same in the console version. But either way, he was able to use that position rather effectively. There is one other difference that maybe I should note about the map. This is an encounter mode on Airfield, which we don't have on the PC version. So it would be interesting to know how this feels as a game mode on this map, because it's the same map. It's the same map, I think, largely as the PC version, but it seems like having the focus be there on the Airfield area might make for some interesting gameplay. Or maybe it's terrible. I don't know. I don't have the console version, so I haven't played this. So down to the last couple of enemy tanks. They have a clear advantage, and that was a nice bounce. That was either an AP or a heat shell, but it just pinged off the side armor, so that was absolutely no problem. And that gives him ample time to get a couple of shots in there. Or, well, one shot anyway. But of the remaining enemy tanks, well, he can afford to take a hit from like the E100 or the Jaegeru, but he really doesn't want to, especially. I mean, why give away health unnecessarily when you don't have to? And really, all he has to do at this point is wait for his allies to close the net. Because there are a bunch of his allies, there's 3 of his own team that are around where the cap point would be on the regular game mode of this map. Anyway, one into the side of the Jaegeru, and the Jaegeru, instead of turning to try and fire, tries to run instead, but he was a bit screwed. He was going to get shot in the back or the side either way, so he was just done at that point. E100, meanwhile, is facing this way, but I suspect he shot the 215 183. And the 183 survived, so with the E100's reload, I mean, the DPM on this thing, I don't know if it's quite going to be 3000, but you could probably, maybe it is the same DPM that was meant to be on the PC version. You could probably calculate, it's like 6.8 seconds with a, what's the average damage on that gun? Is it 400? I'm not going to try and do that in my head now, but maybe it would be about that. So that was the second class, Mark of Excellence, 6,000 damage done, 3,800 blocked. Not bad at all. And that's that British gun handling and that British DPM in action there. So that was a very solid tier 10 heavy tank match there. And I rarely get results like that myself when I'm playing my tier 10 heavies. Even the 215B, you get a nice setup. It's got weaker armour than the Chieftain overall, and the rear mounted turret does make it rather awkward, so the Chieftain looks like it probably would be a more comfortable tank to play overall. So there we are. The Chieftain, I'm sure it will come to PC eventually, maybe. I think the very last information or rumours or whatever that was made available was that it would come to PC sometime in 2017, maybe. It's a big maybe. And 2017's not that far off at this point, so we'll see. Who knows? I don't doubt that we will see the Chieftain, though. I mean, it wouldn't make much sense for it to only be on the console, given that it is such an iconic tank. And it would certainly give people something to aim towards. So hopefully you have enjoyed this replay, courtesy of Sins. You can check out his channel with the link in the description below. And if you liked this video, you can hit the like button. You can leave any comments. You can sub to my channel if you want to. And as always, stay tuned for more.